So in order to create websites, we basically need three things. We need HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language, and it's a markup language, so it's not a programming language. It's very important to save the file as .html so that we can view it through a browser. HTML is responsible for the content and the structure of a website, so it has nothing to do with the logic or with the layout. We add the layout with CSS and the logic is part of JavaScript. HTML elements are represented with tags and attributes. In this case, we have no attribute, but we have a starting tag and an end tag. In this case, it's an h1 element with the content HTML. Besides HTML, we have also CSS, and CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets. With CSS, we have the ability to control the presentation, but also the layout and the formatting. We can change the appearance of our HTML elements. For example, we can change the background color, we can enlarge text, and we can make border around text. So now we have discussed HTML, CSS, but there's also JavaScript, and JavaScript is a programming language. Maybe you think now, okay, it has something to do with Java, but they are two totally completely different languages. With JavaScript, we have the ability to control different elements, and we can add complexity and also logic to our website. And it allows us to interact with a user. For example, when somebody presses a specific key, we want to change the color of the element, in this case from red to blue. And that's something we can do with JavaScript. To illustrate the differences between HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, I have prepared 3 files. And as you can see now, at the left side of the screen, here is our HTML element. It's our h1 heading, but we haven't applied the CSS styles yet, so we have to include the CSS file in order to work. So I will include the CSS file, and now you can see the changes. So I wanted to change its color to red, make it uppercase, center the element, and change its font family to Helvetica. And yeah, I have achieved all of that just with CSS. Before it was just a basic HTML file, then I added a CSS. And as you can see, there's also here a JavaScript file. In the JavaScript file, I have a reference to our h1 element, which is in the HTML document, and I added an event listener and listened for a click event. So when somebody clicks on the h1 element, the color changes from red to blue. And I will demonstrate this to you. So I will click on the element and its color will change. And I hope now you understand the differences between HTML, CSS, and JavaScript a little bit better. So with HTML, we can add the content to our website. With CSS, we can change the appearance of that content. And with JavaScript, we can add the logic and the complexity to our website.